We made it, boys. We made it. So, it's funny because I'm getting flack for this, but this isn't even my like this. Me posting this isn't even the first time I've seen this. Like this idea that execution isn't a skill. I've literally seen people defend this. So, I love this. This is why I posted this. I love the reactions. Someone accused me of uh, Steam form point farming, right? I don't give a shit about fucking internet points. It's the reactions themselves that drive into this madness. And to be honest, I could think of easier takes, like like topics or opinions to take that would give me more points. To be honest, because to be honest, this is a very unsuccessful point wise. Um, so before I posted this, I literally made a video and wrote an article, which no one reads. No one reads. I'm gonna get into more. I'm gonna get more into that later. Okay. So I made a video saying execution is a skill. I literally said it. I defended it and I made my points. And I wrote. Well, first I wrote the article because writing an article is easier. Um, I don't want to get off topic, but I wrote the article and then I made the video. Actually, I made the video and then realized how unorganized my thoughts were, and then I wrote the article and then I just redid the video. So yeah. So and then I was like, you know what? Let's have a little fun. So I basically wrote satire. Okay. And a little backstory about me. I loved Onion News when I was 12 years old. The very first one was when I saw on TV the Al Qaeda sending pictures of cute piglets as a form of terrorism. That was the first one, and I knew it was fake, like obvious, right? But no one, my mom didn't really care, my dad didn't really care. No one at school, like I'll probably be made fun of, whang whang whang, crying tears. But I was the only one who really liked Onion News as my age, like or even anyone else's age. I know no one who also enjoyed Onion News. My favorite one to this day is uh, the second one is Concentric Circles, but my first one, because it's the most relatable, is there is some bullshit happening, right? Because my dad was watching the news, and that's what it really felt like to me. Just some bullshit happening somewhere. That's exactly what the news feels like, and it's just I love Onion News. I mean, I wouldn't say it's my childhood because I didn't really go looking for it, but when I found it, like I didn't go online reading Onion News articles as a 12-year-old, but just you know what I mean. I just love it. So yeah, I was like, you know what? Let's post some satire, right? Because that's the best way. That's the most entertaining way to criticize something. Satire. Okay. So I'm gonna break this down, and yeah, I'm just gonna break it down. So just because this game has one-directional inputs does not make it easier than other fighting games. Um, yes, it does. There are some people that actually agree with that, like unironically. They say it doesn't make it easier, and then they say, "Oh, timing, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit." Um, I don't know if I should, cause let's just keep on going. But people have unironically agreed with that first part. It is just as deep, just as complex, and just as nuanced. Now, people keep on saying these words, deep and complex, but they never expand on it. They just say, oh, Strive is deep and complex. DNF Duel is just as deep and complex. Maybe I should make a satire on that, but like no one is expanding on that. What is deep? What is complex? Please tell me what that is, because all these games can't be deep and complex. It's just not possible. You're gonna tell me that Strive is just as deep and complex as Tekken? Like, you know what I mean? So maybe that should be my next piece. But I want to do a kind of a low blow, easier one for now. Anyway, just so this is obviously satire because it's just like overestimating. Because look what the game I picked, Strive, the the contentious game that's like everyone is like it's a very contentious game because you got people saying like, oh, this is a step back. and then you got like new people who never played somehow saying that it's deep and complex. Um, my opinion on Strive is it's a garbage game, first of all, and not only that, it's a horrible Guilty Gear game, and then it's just a subpar game on its own. So when you take the average of those, it's a garbage game, right? Combos are for peacocks. Now, peacocks is the term I want people to start using, unironically. I want that term to catch on because first of all, I made it, and that would be cool. But because I think it also is an appropriate term, right? When you let's just say Skullgirls as an example, because that's the game that has like 13-second long combos. Just like 13 seconds of looking at the screen. No, you're saying, oh, 13 seconds is nothing. Like, just take time out of your day and randomly close your eyes and count. Like, put a timer on your phone, put 13 seconds, and just close your eyes. You're gonna hate it. Just meditate for 13 seconds. Actually, this is a good exercise for you, and maybe I'll do it too. But like, just like randomly throughout the day, you'll have this thought pop up in your head. Maybe you're waiting on the train or whatever, and you're like, okay, let's just turn off the music and just set a timer for 13 seconds and just like think of nothing. Just meditate for 13 seconds. Okay? Just do that. In Skullgirls, you're doing nothing. Like, it's not like the average. Okay, let's just move on. But Peacocks is like, like these long ass combos where you're just sitting with a thumb up your ass waiting for the guy to hopefully mess up. But, these guys have been practicing. So you're praying to God that it's your turn to play, right? All those years of you being a 5-year-old kid and your older brother not passing the controller because it's your turn, they're back, right? In 13-second snapshots. Who think labbing more than 6 hours to show off their pretty button presses. I'm surprised no one has mentioned, said anything about pretty button presses. That's such a weird term. I'm surprised no one has mentioned picked up on that. Pretty button presses. I mean, it goes back to peacocks, right? Because, they're showing off. But, there's such a, I'm tooting my own horn here, but, let's have some little positivity. I made a whole hour long talking about Jam as a character. So I don't just talk positive about myself, but I just love pretty button presses. It's just such a, it kind of flows well, and then it also connects back to peacocks. On an online match makes them good at the game. Right? So I'm making a statement that the dexterity test that combos are, right? They're for people who like to show off, right? So I'm putting other people down. They are wrong. So a good thing in Satire, just blanket 100. You can't be on the fence with Satire. Actually, a good satire would be that would be a good satire piece of a person who's sitting on the fence. I would love to read one like that. So they are wrong, right? You can't be on the fence with satire, but I would love to read a good satire piece about a guy who never picks a stance. Execution is just a menial. Now, see, the thing about menial is that if you're good at a combo, it eventually just becomes menial. But that's where you want it to be. You want it to be in a place where you don't have to think about it, because that's how you know you've perfected it. If you don't have to think about a combo and you can still do it, that means you've mastered it, right? So saying it's menial, I don't want to say you want the combo to be menial. You want a combo to become menial is a better way to say it. Skill less. That's a horrible. It's such a bad term that it actually fits well, right? Because I don't know how to explain it, but it's such a bad term. Skill less. It's so bad. It's actually good. You know what I mean? Barrier to keep us real thinkers. Now, there's this movement going on saying that neutral is where the true fighting game is taking place, right? Because that's where you're, fishing for pokes. That's where you're getting a read on your opponent. Like, oh, he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that. That's where both players are in complete control of their own destiny. So yeah, I've extended that and said, oh yeah, this is where the big brain chess game is at. Now here's my favorite term, and this is the term I had most like I was like, this is the term that said this is what separates satire. This is what pushes it into satire. This is where you're gonna be like, okay, this cannot be real, right? This is also my favorite. I love it so much. So to keep us real thinkers from engaging on a fourth dimensional plane of decision making. I love it. Now, I could have easily said 4D chess, but the fourth dimensional plane of decision making is just so beautiful. 4D chess would have been just easy. It would have been too easy. I don't know if it would have gotten better reactions, right? Because the fact that it's like a more accessible, uncreative term, right? Like it's the go-to term for what I'm saying, right? I don't know. I'm not, a satire professional. I don't know if it would have made it more believable if I had said the more common term 4D chess. I don't know. Okay, so I love the term fourth dimensional plane of decision making. I love it because it's so that's where this whole piece that's where it's cemented that this is satire 100%. You cannot read that line and be like, this guy's serious. You know what I mean? This is the turning point. That a fighting game allows a true fighting game. So that's what's the word? That's digging deeper. That's cementing my foot. That's making my stance, right? My contentious point. So I just broke it down for you guys, and the reception I got wasn't. I guess it wasn't what I wanted. I mean, yeah, some people took it. Well, I'm gonna get into the Twitter responses, which is what I really wanted. But the Steam responses didn't really entertain me. I guess they didn't satisfy me. Right? Some people really legitimately bought it, and I had to come out and say I don't believe it. But it didn't satisfy me really. I posted it on Strive. I posted on Strive, Tekken, and DNF Duel. So far in Tekken, I'm still saying that I believe in it. DNF Duel, I kind of outed myself because I didn't really think. Like, I guess they were kind of aware that it was satire, so they weren't really biting. That's why I outed myself so early. But on Tekken, I'm still having a little bit of fun. But on Strive, I think Strive players are alt-right guys. I don't know, because they got very hostile and then it got taken down. Like the first response was very angry with me. I don't know why. Like, damn, if you don't agree, say why. But I mean, yeah, obviously I'm being very aggressive here by calling people peacocks. But yeah, like I only had like 6 posts on Strive and it got taken down the next day. Which is validation for me. I think it's funny. I think it says a lot more about the Strive community that they got it taken down than Tekken and DNF Duel. I think it says a lot about the Strive community. Now, before we go on to Twitter, I love the responses. I just want to say that I don't think I'm going to be posting it on the less popular games because the community is already, and those games are already like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not even, I don't want to burn the small communities there. You know what I mean? I don't want to kick these people down. But in these bigger communities, I can make a fuss. You understand? So, moving on to the Twitter responses. Now, I love it because this is like Onion News. Like where people are like, "Is it real? Is it?" I love it. So we're gonna read some of them. We got honestly agreed. Why is this not being like? Why is no one biting on this? Someone agrees with my take, but see what I mean? I'm getting hate, but this guy literally agrees, and then all he gets is he gets called goofy. That's it. No one's like giving him a serious debate on this. Okay, so we got someone here, you know, not defending it. What's the word? Explaining, like he's being sarcastic, whatever. Obviously, right? The lengths these people will go to convince themselves they're actually good at the game. Sad, right? And we got a GIF. Just accept that people like different games with different levels of depth and difficulty. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, people keep on saying that the DNF duel is deep because the timing on a combo on like three different characters is so hard. Oh my god, that means it's high skill. Dude, this game wasn't meant to be like a Tekken. You know what I mean? It wasn't meant to be like actually compete against Tekken and Street Fighter. This was just how to explain it. It was just to be like, hey, fans of Dungeon Fighter, here's a cool game where you can play your favorite character. That's what it is. It's not like, oh, we're gonna compete with the market share of the big names like Tekken. No, it's not. That's also why it's shitty because it's not like anyone who plays Dungeon Fighter. I don't really know about the game, but obviously it's not a fighter. Is not really going to invest in the game for a while. Like they're gonna play it, they're gonna have their fun, and then they're gonna leave. That's it. That's all this game is. It's a pump and dump, which is fine if you have fun with it, I guess. But the idea that this is a deep and complex and nuanced game, just accept that it isn't, guys. That's it. It's okay. It doesn't need to be. There is a market for easier fighting games. That's completely fine. I just don't like this, pat on the back of, oh, this game is deep, that therefore I'm smart. Like, no, just accept that it's a easier game to get into. It's fine. There's no shame. Like, just enjoy your game. Jesus Christ. See, here we go. See, this guy gets it because I say Tire is making very like over or under statements, and like I made a solid statement saying the most contentious fighting game is the best game. That's another like okay, something's up here. That's where because someone could unironically believe that, and I bet you there people are there that believe that. But it's just like on the iceberg, right? And then as you continue reading, the iceberg is tipping over and over and over, and the whole under the iceberg is revealed by the fourth dimensional plane. That's why a good satire is like that, where it's just like as you're reading, the iceberg. Maybe it's not even satire because satire should be kind of obvious, but like the iceberg is tipping, and the under of it, the big meaty mass of it, is getting revealed. The true nature of it, right? That's good satire. So that was a. See, I'm saying, man, my voice cracked. See, I'm saying it like I'm a professional satire. I'm not. I want to get in a little tangent at the end of this video that has nothing to really do with games, but more on satire. But let's go back on here. Here we go. Me engaging in the fourth dimensional plane of decision making. I love it. I love it. It's such a golden line. Making while playing casual Smash Bros. Yeah, this is exactly the response I wanted right here. Nah, this has to be bait. I love the people who catch on, and then we got the people who are like, it's possible. There are people who will believe this unironically. I love it. I love the doubt. It's the key word here is doubt. You don't know. I love the doubt. Okay, we're back. I had to log in and whatever. Who cares? This man gets it. He gets it. It is literally satire. This has got to be a joke. No way this guy said to keep us real thinkers from engaging. Okay, you get it. Unironically and expected to be taken seriously. Yes, exactly. If they want to engage in a fourth dimensional plane. Okay. I'm just gonna say fourth, and you're gonna get what I mean. They shall play Tekken. Tekken 1, where 4 touch of death exists. Need for execution and theme. Number 4 fits perfectly there. No longer. Okay. So, he read that, and he's like, well, I would just like to say the fact that I got, quote unquote clown achievements means that the community disagrees with what I'm saying. So I don't know if you would look at me and say this guy represents this whole community. That's not really fair. Combos that aren't so long that they kill the flow are fun to do. I agree. That's why I love Soul Calibur. I don't know if I mentioned this in another video, but I took like an average of the combos in Tekken, Skullgirls, and Soul Calibur. The longest, like I took the longest combos in Skullgirls are like up to 13 seconds, as I said before. Tekken was like 10 seconds, but it was uncommon, right? The average combo in Skullgirls was 7 seconds. In Tekken, it was like 5 or 6. And the average combos in Soul Calibur was like 3 seconds. Perfectly fine, right? And, in Tekken, no, I'm sorry, in Soul Calibur you got wall combos that aren't too long either. Like the max seconds was like 5. 5, very rarely 7. Very rarely. But in Skullgirls, you will have at least 2 or 3 13-second combos in 2 or 3. Because, you're supposed to have like 3 characters, right? So they're doing less damage. So the fucking combo has to extend to 3 different freaking ass characters just to do the damage. So it's too much. That's why I can never get Skullgirls. 13 seconds is just too long. Okay. Yeah, so I agree with this guy. Combos that aren't so long to kill the flow of the fun. So yeah, I think 3 seconds is the sweet spot. 3 to 5 seconds. Perfect. Tekken does, reach 7 seconds. That's where it just like, come on, let this be over. You know what I mean? Tekken does have those combos where you're just like, alright, I get it, let's move on with this. Homie just needs to play RTS games. So I can complain about APM. You know what I mean? He should have said turn-based games, which is what people have been saying. Us real thinkers. Yeah. It's too nonsense. It makes perfect sense. Like, there isn't really anything there that, if you read it, you wouldn't understand what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying, even if it's absurd, right? I don't think you could read it and be like, what is this guy saying? You know what I'm saying. You just don't agree with it, and it's too absurd. Here we go. Troll woman, who, could pass as one with that long ass neck. Oh, I think they photoshopped it. Nobody wants their game to be considered easy because that is an implicit. Exactly, this is what I'm saying. Because there's implicit value judgment towards the people who play it. Yep, that's what I'm saying. I think that this distinction to make it easier does not equal easy necessarily. Okay, I disagree with that. If you're making the game easier, I mean, she's saying like just because it's easier doesn't mean it's easy. Okay, but in relation, like, I mean, yeah, I get what she's saying, but when you're talking about a game and you're saying, "Oh, this game is hard," see, the thing is, this is why I'm kind of fucked up right now, because when people say, "Oh, this game's hard," they do mean like in relation to all other games. But when people say this game is easier, when talking about a fighting game, they mean in relation to other fighting games. So that's kind of weird. This game is hard, but and you know you know they mean in relation to in general video games. But when this game is easier, when you're talking about fighting games, everyone understands that you're talking about other fighting games. So I don't know. Yeah, FG as a genre are hard, and different games within the genre can test different skills. Yes, but that's such a general statement. That's just a general statement. Yeah. So, and then they say that they don't do think. Oh, okay. Do think. I read it as don't. That said, I do think DNF is easier. Thank God. I agree. Okay. Execution. I disagree. So you know, in this fucking game, I was playing the ninja, and this is the only game I've ever had a positive ratio in. Like I had 72 with like 15 matches, and you're gonna say that's not a lot, but if my average is like 40 in every other game, you know what I mean? Like I'm not a good player, so for me to be 72, I think it speaks more about the game than my superior thinking skills, right? World's biggest dive, yeah. That's what see, that's what we're moving to. We're moving to dive kick. See, here's the problem, guys. You know, they say, "Oh, we're making this game to appeal to more fans." And what do they do? They gut combos. What does that tell you? That tells you combos are inherently hard. Oh, but the game is just as deep, just as complex, and just as nuanced as it was without the combos. What is that? What does that mean? Someone explain it to me. So yeah, we're moving to dive kick. Every execution cut is a move to dive kick. If you can't bother to learn, if you can't bother learning to execute moves, you're not dedicated enough to learn everything necessary to have fourth dimensional matches. Yes and no to that statement. Because I do kind of agree. If you don't want to learn a basic B and B combo, bread and butter combo, you're probably not going to stick around long enough to learn fundamentals, right? I kind of agree. Yeah, I'm leaning more on yes, but I also want to say no. I love this one. This one is funny. I don't know what the context is, but this is funny. The best fight. Like he's coming out the fucking sauna to rape you after you said that shit. That's funny. Like you're in the men's shower and you see this because you said that. This feels like a bit. It is. It is a bit. Gonna make the executive decision that this is a troll because this is the funniest thing I've read all week. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is obviously a troll post and it's very funny. Thank you. You guys are inspiring me. You guys are validating me. It never ceases to amaze me the lengths people go to it. Yeah, that's true. People will go crazy lengths to cope. It's amazing if you read this from the perspective of youth basketball coach that is pissed about NBA regulation height hoops. Okay, but what? I don't know. I mean, I would have to think about that comment more. I don't think anyone considers execution as a skill per se. It is. It can be a hurdle to get through on some characters, but since it's closely related to combos and routing, easier controls has the potential to limit and restrict combo routes, which limits player freedom. Yes, I agree. It's not a direct cause, but if you consider the other mechanics in the game, then the execution itself can be another factor that makes it simplified. Again, with saying that there's a lot of no. See, this is what I mean. nuance and faceted layers to the skill button. Like, I feel like the implication is that it's just as complex and nuanced as games without. I mean, games with regular ass combos, and I disagree. Okay, so this guy talks about BB Tag, and I've heard that that's like a really shitty game. Um, I I can't really comment what he's saying. Not so based Picasso. My name, or at least the name at this time, when I posted it, was signed Picasso. That's a reference to something, you know. I hope you guys get it. It's an old movie. I didn't even watch the movie. I just saw a piece of it online. 99% of the combos are not even hard. I guess he's talking about the game itself, which I agree. I agree with that being the case. Wait, is this for real? When someone whips out shit like, yep, I start thinking as a troll. Yes, that's because it is. If it takes no skill to use a combo, then how come I can't do them? That's such a garbage rebuttal, okay? Because there are a whole bunch of things that you can't do that aren't necessarily because you can't give birth, and is giving birth a skill? You know what I mean? Well, I'm assuming this guy's a man. Um, like that's such a horrible thing. It doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't follow through. Um, and this is just a little, I guess, a little joke. It's not really funny because it doesn't make sense. Because there's many things you can't do that aren't necessarily a skill. I need the drawing of the guy whose brain extends into a giant throne upon which the guy is sitting because that's the OP. I legitimately can't follow what this dude is trying to communicate. I think you need to reread it a couple of times. I mean, the what I'm saying is literally very clear. Yeah, he's saying the throne thing because my profile picture is a guy sitting down on a throne, so that's why he's saying that. Yes, implying GG Strive has no execution. Yes, that is kind of what I'm implying. Um, because I'm saying, oh, this game is easier, just like this other game that has lesser execution. Yeah, I mean, I am indirectly implying that. Bait for the bait god. I don't know. Like, I don't know what the proper word to use is context, but like, I don't know. This is a compliment, or what role this fulfills in a conversation. I mean, obviously, is it like a warning or is it like a? I don't know. You know what I mean? Okay, bruh, no motion inputs is what killed my interest in this game. Also, the little motion input it had for like filling up the manifest were literally the same shit for every character. Yeah, it is. Also, Guilty Gear Strive is my favorite Guilty Gear game, but I know it's easier than the rest of the Guilty Gear. At least he's honest. At least he's honest. Some people out here be saying, you know, oh, the fucking different RCs make the game so much more nuanced. No, it isn't. My the coolest thing about R Plus was the move specific RCs. Just for as an example, Jam has one where she kick flips in the air to like cross up the opponent, right? But if you RC, it's a 2 frame RC activation, right? So it's almost impossible, at least on online. But what it does is it throws you like in a straight diagonal motion instead of just like um, a curve, right? So she goes in a diagonal motion instead of a curve when she does it. So it's like it completely changes the not the mechanic, the purpose and the yeah the purpose of the move, what it accomplishes, and that's cool. I like that. It makes the game have more nuance, right? But everyone have fucking colored RCs makes the game deep and nuanced. 100% bait. Thank you for having. What grade reading level would you require to to understand this is satire. You know what I mean? I don't know. So both of these guys agree with my fake point that the first sentence about having one button inputs doesn't make it less deep. I disagree, but these guys agree with my not real point. Um, if I really gave a shit, I would probably argue with them. I would argue with them. I say argue but I would like to have a discussion about why they believe that if they were on the Steam forums. I'm not gonna really use my Twitter. I don't really like Twitter, but Twitter is where I found all the responses that I really enjoy. So I keep losing at this fighting game because I'm too smart. Is some of the tastiest salt I've ever. I agree. That's a good salt. That's a good salt. I guess. I love it. That's a good one too. I like it. As complex and nuanced as Guilty Gear Strive. Yeah, this guy gets it. What I just read. Yeah, I can tell English is your second language, so don't feel too bad about not getting it. This bait is getting crazy. Is it? There's no shot. This isn't satire. Yep, you got it. Meh. He's leaning so hard on the joke. Yeah, the fourth dimensional thing is really like on the nose, but I think it completes it. I think it wouldn't be as even though it does like push. I am leaning. I agree. I do. I am leaning on too hard. I do agree. This was a really aggressive satire. You know what I mean? Like I agree with this a lot. They started out with a fair point, and then they derailed. So why is no one like talking to these guys? Like they agree with. Like there's some people that said that they disagree, and then there's some people that say they agree. So why aren't these people talking? Why aren't they having an interesting conversation? I would like to see both sides of that conversation. I'm not joking. I would actually like to see. Uh, I guess is it me or is it my take? I mean, this is Killy Bait. Thank you. A true fighting game. Try going to the. Okay, so this guy's really stupid. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna assume we're all anonymous, and you can call me stupid. That's fine. I don't really care. We're all strangers on the internet. We shouldn't take everything strangers say on the internet to heart. So I'm just gonna go ahead and call you stupid. A true fighting game. Try going to the bar and picking a fight with the biggest guy there. There's your true fighting game. Okay, so that's really stupid. Because in real life, there is execution. There is specific ways you need to punch. And then that's not even accounting the physical difference. He says biggest guy there. I'm literally... This guy's really stupid. I'm literally saying fighting games should be a mental thing, which... I mean, that's a whole nother point. But I don't necessarily 100% agree with that. I'm literally saying that fighting games should be a mental gymnastic, right? And this guy is saying fight some big guy who's physically better than you. What does that even mean? Like, what does that do with anything? He's gonna win. He's stronger than me. Now you can make the argument that because he's bigger, he's never really had to fight, but it really takes one good punch to win. So fighting has low execution. This has to be a bit. It is. It is. Keep us real thinkers. Yes, I love that piece too. Yes, thank you. Yes, I agree. I agree. Is this satire? Yes, it is, Fuji. English might be your second language, and you might look like Waluigi, but you understand English. The headline itself is a scrub quote. I couldn't read any further than that. There is no way this is real. Has to be a troll. I refuse to believe this is a real thought. Man, I feel like trying to believe in my own thought just out of spite. You know what I mean? My dude, just go play footsies. I can't because of the execution. Fighting game difficulty at the beginning has been overly mysticized. I mean, I kind of get what this guy's person is saying, but I feel like they just wanted to use the word mysticized. I love Strive, but this man's capping if he thinks this is the best fighting game. Like what I started playing fighting games with goddamn R plus, and I was 9, and that guy couldn't even do. Okay, this was combos are bad. GG Strive is the best fighting game, huh? Yeah, this guy. Yeah, why is it mutually exclusive? You got fucking Potemkin, who just does well. That's execution. See, you said no. Combos are bad. Potemkin Buster is a fucking nasty ass execution. Half circle forward, half circle back forward execution. That's a pretty. Like, it's not super easy. It's a motion that requires some dexterity. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you do need to practice it, especially getting it out after like block stun and all that. So yeah, I mean, you said you misinterpret execution as simply combos. Um, you just misinterpreted. I mean, it's not such because I do get into combos as my second paragraph. So okay, but have you considered that? Okay, so I would just like to say that saying no one cares. Let me tell you something. When people say no one cares, the fact that you took time out of your day to post means you care. Who 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 takes time out of the day for something they don't care about? What kind of person are you that you have enough free time in your life to do stuff you don't care about? What kind of passionless life you have? Almost pathetic. You care enough to post, and that's fine. So just saying you don't care, you're not cool. You're just stupid. Really, a game being easier or harder in any axis of skill doesn't really mean much if you enjoy it. I mean, yeah, you don't like execution, and there are games that are lower in that particular barrier. I like execution, so sayonara. Why sayonara? We're both playing DNF Duel. Low execution, bitch. Do tone down the cockiness, though. You're coming off as more of a peacock than the people you are criticizing, and even more so than a certain anti-skill girl cyborg. Who is that? This makes people not want to listen to you. So you obviously completely missed that it's satire. This piece would have been nothing if I was lukewarm and trying not to be offensive. You understand? You have to be offensive on some point to get attention, right? Something that requires repeated practice. Oh, yeah, I already read this. Yeah, that game is garbage, so I don't even want. And that's it. So I want to. This is a tangent. It has nothing to do with this, but I want to get into it. So the fucking Babylon Bee, the Christian run satire site, right? I asked them would they host one of my pieces, like either me as a guest or something, right? Now the transaction here is I'm giving them something for their viewers that they might enjoy, and I'm getting some publicity, right? That's what the trade is going on right now. Okay, it's a fair trade. They, I don't know, don't have to work that day, or if they're slow that day, and they have a piece for it today, and it might interest their viewers. Obviously, they have to make a judgment call on the piece itself. And then I get some publicity, and I get some people my way. So it's a tit for tat. It's a fair trade. They could also, I mean, it could also been like a ghostwriting thing where I provided the text and then they pay me for it, right? That's a tit for tat. I get money, you get something for your readers today, and all the credit for it, right? That's fine. That's a trade. Okay, but I want you to listen to this. What they replied back to me is no, which is fine, but it's more egregious what came after that. They basically said that I can become like a OnlyFans, right, for them, and I can go on the thread and make suggestions that might make be one. Okay, so let me boil that down for you. Something more digestible. They want to take my money and also my ideas. Literally, that's what it is. And what do I get? Oh, the satisfaction. The satisfaction that my piece became something. That's what if that's literally cucking. You're taking my ideas and my money. I'm being cucked. You know, it's one thing where, like, say for example, someone drew something I suggested. I mean, you can kind of extend this to here too, but I mean, I guess I'm a writer myself, so it wouldn't. It's more egregious for me for another writer to take my idea and also my money. But like, if I were to suggest an idea to an artist, and then they wrote it, I mean, they drew it. I mean, I wouldn't be angry, right? Because and I'll be like, oh, then that's some nice art, even though it was my idea. I mean, I can't draw, right? I have no drawing skill, so it would be awesome for someone to take my idea and execute it with a skill I don't have and never will. I'm not gonna. I mean, I'd rather just focus on writing. So you know what I mean? Like, if I were to suggest something to an artist and then they drew it, I mean, I'd get some satisfaction from that because what I wanted to become real became real. But in this case, I'm a writer, or I see myself as one. So for you to take my money and take my idea, I'm just cucking. You're cucking me. The fucking Christian satire site is trying to cuck me, and they're probably cucking other people. Dude, fucking Christians these days. They're the true alt-right.